Across the fence, we're going to learn about Vermont LandLink. It's a free farm property clearinghouse on the web that's connecting property owners and farmland seekers. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Judy Simpson. One of the single biggest challenges facing new and established farmers is simply finding available land. Well, now there's a free website that's helping farm seekers and property owners find one another. It's called Vermont LandLink. To begin, I'm joined by Ben Waterman of the University of Vermont Center for Sustainable Agriculture. Ben heads the Beginning Farmer and Land Access Program. Thanks so much for being with us. So why was Vermont LandLink created?
Well, simply put, Judy, Vermont LandLink was created to help farmers access land. As you mentioned, it's a huge challenge, especially for new farmers who are aspiring to purchase land for the first time or aspiring to lease land for the first time. It's a huge challenge for them just to find adequate land and to find land of good quality and land that's affordable. Even for an expanding farm, for an established farmer who's expanding, looking to relocate onto new lands, it's also difficult for them to find land.
Because back in the day, traditionally, I mean, if someone was going to be a farmer, they usually inherited the farm or had easy access to land, whether it was a neighbor's farm or whatever, but that's not the case these days.
It's often not the case. There are a lot of farmers who did not grow up on the farm and that are coming from different career backgrounds and are hoping to establish operations. Yeah. And
so tell me a little bit about the benefits, obviously, for someone who's just starting farming, but also for the landowner themselves.
Well, the benefits of having a service like LandLink is sort of having more options at their disposal to be able to access information about farm tenure opportunities, whether it be a lease opportunity or a purchase opportunity. So the farmer can make informed decisions about where they should end up.
And how about for the landowner? What's the benefit?
For a landowner, well, there's a significant property tax benefit that they can incur by virtue of leasing land to a farmer. They can enroll land in the Vermont Department of Tax's current use program. But there's other benefits as well. If land stays in agriculture, it remains open and productive. That means there's sort of a higher inherent property value than if the land were to revert back to forest or scrubland. And in general, keeping land productive and open in an agricultural use maintains the simple beauty of the landscape, which a lot of landowners like to see.
So how does the LandLink website work?
It's really simple, really easy to use, straightforward if you're arriving on the website for the first time. It starts with the landowner through a very quick process, opening an account to enable them to post a description of the property that's available. And this involves the landowner sort of describing the property in detail. For example, what water features exist on site, some of the status of the barns or infrastructure, and the soils quality, the soils types. And once they post a listing, the website organizes the information in a manner that's very easy for farmers to access.
I think the next couple of slides we're going to see sort of shows that.
Yeah, so the farmer is able to actually search through the properties. They're able to search properties based on the kind of farm that they're looking for. For example, there's a map feature that enables the farmer to search by location.
And this would be like a listing that enlists some of the features of the land.
Exactly. The farmer could search through the listings based on the number of acres, for example. They're looking for the particular location of where they want to end up.
And so now we can see the map, so you can see where the land is actually physically located to see if that is going to work for someone who might be interested in leasing or even buying the property.
Yep, the farmers could just click on each of those little barn icons and a description of the property will show up. And here again, you're displaying the sort of the search feature, all the different criteria the farmers can use to search through the properties to figure out where they want to end up and what they're looking for.
Okay, well, joining me now is John Mandeville. John is the Executive Director of the Lamoille Economic Development Corporation. LEDC is one of the 12 regional development corporations in Vermont, and it's the lead sponsor of the LandLink website. Thanks so much for being with us.
My pleasure.
Tell me a little bit about why your corporation is involved.
Well, there's a couple things. First and foremost, 2/3 of the economy in Lamoille is based on tourism. And what a lot of people are not aware of, there are actually more tourist visits in Lamoille and in Vermont in general in the summertime than there are in the winter. One of the reasons why people come to visit is because of the working landscape. They want to see cows, they want to see sheep, they want to see corn growing, they want to see hay being mowed. These are all things that people are quite interested in. If there is not a healthy, robust, and financially, I should say economically viable farm community, then those things start to go away. And that's going to hurt the economy both in Lamoille and statewide. Secondly, our job as a development corporation is to support all sorts of industry business within the region, and agriculture is important simply as a way to make money in Lamoille County, and we need to do everything we can to support that and make sure that it remains healthy.
Yeah, I don't think people realize sort of the role that agriculture does play in all the different businesses that rely on agriculture.
Exactly. I mean, it's not. And I should say it's not just agriculture. It's also forestry. Both of those are pretty important, certainly in Lamoille and throughout the state. And yes, it's not just growing. It's not just dairy. It's not just growing vegetables or whatever. It also has to do with value-added agriculture, which means actual production of those food items beyond getting them out of the field.
And so, how does LandLink work with what it is that you do?
It's very, very important to us. We, as a development corporation, as I said, have the responsibility for the support of all sorts of businesses throughout our area. LandLink fits in very nicely with other things that we've been involved in and would like to be involved in. Just to give you some examples of some other areas in the ag area that we have been involved in, we did pay to do a French translation of the new statewide website called Diggin' VT, which is both an agritourism and a culinary website statewide. And we felt as a development corporation that given our proximity to Canada, that having that in French was going to be of real value. We also support another UVM extension program called ROPES, which is Rollover Protection Structure Program.
Yeah, we've done several stories about that and shows about how important the rollover bar is.
That's right.
To save the family farm.
And we have committed $140,000 over 4 years to support that program specifically in Lamoille County. We underwrote a tour bus last fall. We were trying to determine whether or not it was going to be viable to have a low-cost tour bus going to various agritourism locations in the county. It worked out phenomenally well.
Can you give us some examples of that? Because I don't think people realize how much money the tourists do spend.
Absolutely. Just as an example, one of the places that they stopped, that the bus stopped during the tour, is a place called the Maple Center, which is right on Route 15 in Jeffersonville. Every time that bus pulled in there, within 30 minutes, the tourists on that bus were spending anywhere from $800 to $1,200.
Wow.
And that bus was coming through every day. That was obviously a real boon to that business. They were also stopping at places like Boyden Winery, places like Brown and Jenkins Coffee, restaurants in Jeffersonville and other places, farms that were selling various vegetable items. So it really was great. It's not just a question of getting the tourists out into these farms, it's getting them to part with some of their money too. And that certainly is our aim. We've also have an ongoing program that we've had offered for about 2 years now, where we will provide professional marketing assistance to any agriculture or forest-related business in Lamoille County and help them to develop a marketing plan, and we will help them to implement that plan. We also offer the opportunity for any business, ag or otherwise, if they don't have any kind of a web presence right now, we will get them on the internet with a website, and it'll cost them $100. We pay the balance.
So Ben, tell me a little bit about how important it is to have this corporation helping you.
Well, I can say definitively that the Vermont LandLink project and related initiatives that would not have been possible without the support of Lamoille Economic Development Corporation. It's been great to work with them. I think LEDC has the foresight to acknowledge that these kinds of initiatives that improve access to information for farmers about land access opportunities can really benefit farmers. It can really improve their business prospects. And I think LEDC also obviously recognizes that land access is key to sort of area economic development and regional economic development as a whole.
So what are some of the other features of the website beyond the farm property descriptions?
Well, the primary function of the website is to serve as a farm property clearinghouse, as you mentioned, but it's also a gateway to educational resources and information. Connecting farmers and landowners is really just a first step. If farmers and landowners find each other, they need to fine-tune the details of, for example, a lease arrangement. So there are a lot of educational resources on the website that go through the nuts and bolts of lease arrangements. For a non-farming landowner who's not familiar with the process of leasing land to a farmer, there's guides and fact sheets for them.
And it's pretty flexible. I mean, it can be anything from a farmer who wants to lease part of his farm but stay on the property himself, to someone who maybe just wants to sell the land, or maybe even if it's someone from out of state who owns a lot of land and they want to see it worked.
That's right. There's really the whole spectrum of types of farm tenure opportunities, anywhere from a 1-year short-term lease to maybe a 10-year lease with an option to purchase. There's a lot of retiring farmers out there who want to see their land remain in agriculture, who want to possibly transfer the farm to a younger generation. In that case, they could post a listing on the website to reach out to farm seekers.
Mm-hmm. And so is LandLink limited to property owners and farmers in Vermont only?
Yes and no. The website it is limited to properties that are in Vermont and within 30 miles of its borders. But the site is not limited to farm seekers in Vermont. A landowner posts on the website can reach out to farmers all over New England or the nation. A unique feature of the website is a landowner who's describing a property on the website is posting a listing. At the click of one button, can actually post the same listing on Vermont LandLink and our sister website, which is New England Farmland Finder.org, which enables the landowner to reach out to farmers all over New England.
So who's going to manage and maintain this link going forward?
It's likely that UVM Extension will manage and maintain the website, mm-hmm. but we're also part of a consortium of organizations called the Vermont Farmland Access Network, who provide similar initiatives and programs and services. So we're all working together to feed information into the website about land access opportunities. We're working with partners like LEDC, who's not only been a fiscal sponsor, but also helped and continues to help in outreach for the website, or promote the website, promote awareness about where the land access opportunities are. Sort of reach out to folks and help them understand how to use the website and gain access to these types of services.
And it seems like it's working too, because you haven't been up and running very long.
No, the website launched just this year, just in June, and since then we've had a lot of usership. We've had a lot of farmers signing up. Farmers can sign up to gain access to all the information. They can get automatic emails every time there's a farm property posted on the website. The farmers get notified. So we've had about 30 farmers sign up for that service. We anticipate that traffic on the website will continue to grow, especially now as the growing season winds down. Farmers have more time to plan for next year, so they'll be going on the website more and more to figure out where the land is. And
you don't get a commission?
No, we do not get any type of commission. Thanks to the sponsorship from organizations like LEDC and United States Department of Agriculture, we don't ask for any commissions. We're not a real estate listing site. We're just simply here to provide access to information and services for farmers and landowners.
And quickly, have you gotten any feedback from folks?
Yes, we have gotten a lot of positive feedback that there have been some interesting properties on the website. We haven't had any matches per se, but mm-hmm. I've had a lot of feedback from farmers who have searched through the properties, and they've contacted landowners and sort of broadened the scope of their options.
And if people want to find out more about this, what should they do?
They can feel free to contact me at the UVM Extension Center for Sustainable Agriculture, mm-hmm. or they can go on the Vermont LandLink.org website. There's a contact form there, and they can email me through that. They can contact John at Lamoille Economic Development Corporation.
Mm-hmm. And even if people aren't interested in farming, it's just a great website to look at and just see, kind of some really creative things that are out there for farmers and people who want to be farmers.
It is fun. It's kind of a neat thing.
Well, I want to thank you both for coming on and talking about it today. That's our program for today. I'm Judy Simpson. I'll see you again next time on Across the Fence.